just wanted some traction.
I just wanted to be honest. Take it how you want to take it.
What up, what up, what up? What is happening, good people? Welcome to this live edition of Herb and Two alongside Toussaint the Great. My name is Herb Howard. This is where we get together and we talk about issues currently impacting the black community. We talk about how those issues impact us individually and how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome these issues. Today, the solution might be kill them little niggas. But, you know, we try to find the best solution for it. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Please make sure you subscribe to the page, hit the like button, and share the broadcast with anybody that you think would find value in it or add value to it. Again, this is Herb and Two. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. We are not just saying kill them niggas for the sake of it. There is some intellect behind killing these niggas. My name is Herb. His name is Two. Two. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? First and foremost, man, I want to extend some love to you, man. I know you had a tumultuous weekend. Also, brother, and just on a much lighter note, I hooped for the first time in like 4 years.
Yeah. How'd that go?
I was terrible. I was absolutely horrible. But that's not the point. You know what I mean? The point was I did it.
That is the point.
I played 4 games, won 2, lost 2. Extremely tentative because I'm scared. You know what I mean?
Don't want to hurt yourself.
Yeah, you know how that go, right? So I missed like 1,800 layups because I'm worried about what the defender is because I'm more focused on him than the layup. Missed like 1,400 layups, like I said. So I'm out there apologizing, like, my bad, y'all. You know how it goes. Right. Because I know this shit. This is not a representation of really how I play. But it is a representation of how I play
right now.
This is how I play right now.
This is who I am right now.
This is exactly who I am right now. But I switched it up next couple games. So I lost that first game, got off the court, got picked back up the next game after. Won that game, won the game after that, lost after that. Stayed outside after that. Jump shot was still falling, so I started feeling good and shit.
There you go.
Point is, I played. You know what I mean? So today I was debating whether I was gonna ride the bike. Since I played, I've struggled walking, moving, sleeping. Everything hurt. You hear me?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I said I was gonna ride the bike today up here because if I don't ride the bike, I won't be able to play next week, and I'm gonna try to keep going. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what's up, man. Salute. I applaud you. You know, metaphorically getting back on that bike. You know what I mean? It ain't like riding a bike, though. You know, it just come back to you. No, it don't. And you hopped in 2 feet first in that motherfucker. 4 games?
It's 4, but it was old man hoop.
I done ran 1 or 2.
It was old man hoop, G. You know. And again, like I said, in the moment I felt good. Yeah. Again, even the missing the layups, it's like just scared. It was my mind. You know what I mean?
Scared to even try to explode for real.
Yeah, I'm scared as hell, right? So I'm looking behind me, like I said, watching for the defender wasn't in trying to hit the bucket. You know what I mean?
I'm out playing tricks on me.
And you know, when you play an old man hoop, everybody old, so they ain't got control of their body either.
Niggas just falling and shit. Right. Get your old ass up.
But end of the day, man, it was a good time, man. I was really proud of myself, G, because that was a big step for me. G. I was like, I ain't never get back on the court.
No, I salute it, man. I have not sprinted since I ruptured my Achilles. I've jogged a little bit. I've run a couple times, but I ain't sprinted. I ain't hit top speed. I don't even know what top speed is. Maybe I have. Maybe I have hit top speed now. My new top speed. But it's absolutely fear. I don't want this motherfucker to snap again. Like, and I don't think it will. I guess it's fine. It's not 100% still. I'll never have the 100% range of motion. Shout out to the Kobe's and the Kevin Durant's of the world who, you know, snap their shits and be back hooping in 8 months. But anyway, Nah, man, I gotta get moving, man. I salute you for doing that. For real.
Yeah, you know, but Kobe's and KD's getting paid for that. Though. That's
Yeah, and they got world class.
Right.
They got world class one surgeons.
Right, and they
They
whole
have
thing
physical
is
trainers.
Yeah.
You got billionaires highly invested in their recovery. So, nah, you know, I want to get back. I want to play football again. Like I want to flag football. I want to play football again. That's how I ruptured in the first place. What I was doing when I snapped it. I want to play again, but you know, I just mentally, I don't know. I can still throw the ball better than most people alive, but I don't. The moving part of the game is. Ugh.
You know, that's the thing, right? As you get older, man, your mind tells you, you know, you could do this. You know, like you did it once before. You know what I mean? And in truth, bro, and I don't know if this is just a thing because of the area I came up in or even like playing pickup at the time that I played pickup, like regular park pickup. Like you had cats out there that went D1 college. You got cats out there that played pro ball. You got, it was a high level of pickup basketball.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%.
And I guess once you start to move outside them areas, you see how cats play, you be like, man, these dudes is terrible. You know what I mean? These dudes is terrible. So in your mind, you're like, man, this, of course I can compete.
Right.
And then you get out there and the one dude who still has like some athletic prowess is the greatest basketball player in the history of basketball. And you angry because you know he's really not that good.
That's how it says. Patar, what up? Garth, what's happening,
I mean?
good brother?
But it
Sister
is
Cherie, what's the word?
It is what it is. Let's jump into some of these topics, man.
Yeah, man. Let's get into some of these things. I do.
There's a few things I want to reference even before we get into the thing we talked about before the camera came on.
Yeah.
But the other day, Byron Donalds is a state rep from Florida, and he got in trouble for making the statements about black families currently, and he related them to black families during the Jim Crow era, right? He was at a Donald Trump rally, and Byron Donalds is black, right? So he's on the verge of possibly being Trump's running mate. You know what I mean? I think it's a Kamala kind of move. You know what I mean?
That's my African American.
That's my African American. You know what I mean? And he a dude. So you got the contingency of black men that's out here talking about voting for Trump, all that type of stuff, right? So it's from a chess move, it's a power play, right?
Yeah.
So the man said during the rally, he was like, you see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively, right? So there was this backlash about him kind of comparing like Jim Crow to being like a stabilizer of black families. What the Democrats did and what the press did in my mind was take that statement out of context, leverage it against him, because it's a game. But and he was trying to fight back against it, but he's also married to a white woman. So part of the conversation was you couldn't even have your white wife if this was Jim Crow, right? So it's duality here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know the man was taken out of context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that the press and the left is leveraging that out of context on purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I wanted us to pay attention to even the context, if it was said in the right way, right? What happens is oftentimes because we don't pay attention, right, we allow statements like that to fly and not give them just due, right? The reason that it plays out of context, and be clear, right, most black folks are conservative in their views.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But culturally and socially, we're being pushed away from conservative ideas because we can't afford them. We can't afford to be conservative. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you sell pussy because it's viable. You can't have the same Jesus saves philosophy when you work in OnlyFans.
When you got to find liberal ways of means.
It just is what it is. You know
Right.
what I mean? But I was just checking it out, and I was like, man, this shit is really interesting. Like the charade that's being put forth. You know, one, taking a statement out of context. Two, acting as if Jim Crow was a faded idea, right? I just recently learned where the name Jim Crow comes from. I didn't know where it come from. And basically what Jim Crow was like a stereotypical name for like, what they used to call them vaudeville characters, movies, the step and fetch it kind of people, right? Basically fold into these ideas and stereotypes of what white folks think of you. That's where the name Jim Crow comes from. It was like a character in a vaudeville type of film. You know what I mean? And I was listening to that shit and learning that shit, and I was thinking, what would that shit be called today? Would it be Jay-Z? Because it's the same characterizations. You understand what I'm saying? Same characterizations, right?
Yeah.
And they act like we so far removed from these ideas. Last week, there was a young girl graduating high school in Milwaukee or some shit. Her daddy ran up on stage because he didn't want her to shake the black man's hand.
Yeah.
Like, what's so fucking different?
Yeah.
Right? When we start talking about the economics, right? Now, granted, I don't want to say what's so fucking different because it's so, they had these glaring examples of this like outward racist philosophy.
Right.
Now it's just inward.
Yeah, and I've always said that I prefer overt racism to the covert shit that we experience today. The microaggressions, the systemic things that I put in place. I prefer when motherfuckers knew goddamn well, don't cross this line, we don't like you, we don't come over here, you know what I'm saying? You ain't welcome to this restaurant, this bathroom, this water fountain, whatever the fuck. I prefer that, man, because the reality forces you to behave differently. The reality forces you to build differently with your own. And when you cloud that reality, when you make it a gray area where you start to think, maybe it's cool over here, maybe I can go to Bridgeport now. Like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that nice of a fucking place. Okay? I don't need to go to fucking Bridgeport or fucking Canaryville or fucking Mount Greenwood. Like, it's not that nice of a fucking place. You know what I'm saying? But then you lose your sense of identity, your sense of purpose for what you own. Growing up in the neighborhoods and like having beefs with other cliques or gangs or whatever, that shit wasn't cool, but it was very, very, it behooved us to know it. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have been wise for you to be in Terrytown unaware that you shouldn't be super broke off to the right. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be wise of you not to know that motherfucking Astros is gonna offend the hell out of these niggas and it might cost you your life or at least an ass whooping. You should know these things. It's good, and if you remove that sense of that line of demarcation, it clouds people's judgment and fogs shit up.
So I just pulled up like specific examples of Jim Crow laws, and this comes from the Jim Crow museums, right?
Candace, what up? Q, what's good? Darius, what's happening?
One says, nurses, no person or corporation shall require any white female nurse to nurse in wards or rooms in hospitals, either public or private, in which Negro men are placed. That's from Alabama. This was the first one I saw, right? What was very interesting, I just saw a report last week where this white woman was having a conversation. She was a nurse, and she was speaking about her daughter, who was whatever they say, I don't know how, what they call it when you're finalizing your last step to becoming a nurse, right? But her daughter just so happens to be black because she didn't bedded some black man.
Right.
And her daughter had a specific experience where she was going through her last trials, had a white patient, and the white patient's family caused the uproar because they refused to allow the black woman to
care for this
white patient.
That's crazy.
That's today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the shit ain't really all that different.
Fucker.
You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
True, but it again, to the point of the Milwaukee man jumping on stage and, you know what I mean?
My daughter can't shake the black man.
She can't shake your fucking hand.
Clearly, he's like assistant principal or dean or something. It's four people up here. I imagine one is the principal, maybe a couple assistant principals, and like a dean or some shit. She can't shake his hand why she getting her diploma?
Florida, education. The schools for white children and the schools for Negro children shall be conducted separately. Florida, right? Now.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say it again. I'll cut you off.
Education. The schools for white children and the schools for Negro children shall be conducted separately. Florida. Well, we live in Chicago.
Right.
Third largest market in America.
And it's like that?
It's the exact fucking same.
Right.
I mean, you might have one or two, I don't even say one or two. Let's say out of I think it's something like 400 high schools in the city of Chicago. You might get 10 with a diverse segment.
Student population, yeah.
You know what I mean? And how do we quantify diverse? None of that is equal no matter what, right?
Right.
Even Whitney Young was once a black high school. Today it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Peyton, public high school, but that's not, they write nigga on the walls. They got in trouble for that last year. You know what I mean? So it's just very interesting, like how we deem things versus how things really are.
Or like some of the Catholic schools, like the most prominent Catholic schools, at least, well, maybe they're most prominent because of where they are. No, they're the most prominent because they are. Where they at?
Mount Carmel's in the hood.
In the middle of the hood. St. Rita on 79th and Western.
In the hood.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Black people don't go there.
no.
Not in droves.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. You got to be a special athlete.
They like
or some shit.
UCLA. The athletes are black.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting just to hear the public responses to the statement. Again, like I said, I know it's out of context, but what it does is it kind of lifts the veil of the truth, or at least shows you, if you're paying attention, how far the facade can go.
Right.
Both sides is leveraging this for their own access or gains, but you could just pull the cloth back and see the lies of both sides.
Not real.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Y'all are lying.
Yeah.
While you were talking about the nurse thing, I wanted to just give a huge shout out to the staff, the nurses at Elmhurst Hospital, specifically in their ICU unit, their intensive care unit. Them people were so kind and merciful and gracious and gentle with my family this weekend, and I just want to say thank you. If you know any of them people, tell them I said thank you.
Salute.
Yeah.
Linda Jennings said, shout out to Mama Linda, I visited in Jim Crow South for the summer in the 50s with the things that just moved on me, y'all. Can y'all help me out? It just, I couldn't remember, but with my grandmother at the time, and it made me feel afraid. I couldn't remember the rules of behavior while out. So I get that statement, right? And we talk about that as if it's a long time ago. I don't know if it was you I was telling, but I was over in Beverly not too long ago because my nephew went to Whitney Young's prom and his date lived in Beverly.
Yep.
As we're leaving Beverly, we go through the little neighborhood right there, catty-corner to Beverly. I can't think of the name of where all the police live.
Mount Greenwood.
Mount Greenwood, right? And I was explaining to my wife how I hated coming over there, picking Bella up from gymnastics at a certain time. You know what I mean? What the fuck is different? Still, that's today. You know what I mean? The first time I got called nigga was in Beverly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at that time, black people really wasn't even in Beverly. Like, it's just really interesting to me.
And you see it in so many different ways. We went to the Cubs game last week, right? Get off the train. When I arrive at the game, I get off the train. And we come out, and it's this young black man. He's selling shit, peanuts, whatever, right? And I laugh immediately. Immediately when we come out the train door and I see him sitting there, I laugh immediately, and I tell my partner, I say, do you hear him? He's like, peanuts here, guys. Get your peanuts. Peanuts. But he's an old blockian, like clearly. You know what I'm saying? Like, peanuts, guys, peanuts. Get your peanuts here. They're cheaper than in the game. So I just laugh and keep moving. Game ends, we come out. He's still out there, but now he's selling these T-shirts, right? He's selling T-shirts. He sees us. He like, hey fam, you want to cop one of these T-shirts? I looked him right in his face and said, why you didn't give me the guys? Get your T-shirts here, safe for the. All he could do is laugh. He's like, man, I gotta make these white people feel safe. I said, hey man, do whatever you gotta do to get your money, man. I'm just fucking with you. But it was absolutely hilarious. Same dude, same exact dude. Guys, peanuts, saw me. Fam, you wanna cop one of these T-shirts? And I bought his T-shirt too. I went ahead and bought one of his T-shirts, man. But I said, hey, this shit is hilarious. But even now today, you feel like that's how you gotta be to make them safe coming to.
Yeah, man. It's just interesting, man. I'm just sick of the lies, right? Another thing, Jasmine Crockett was on the Breakfast Club.
Shout out to the Corner Convo podcast checking in. Appreciate y'all, man. Salute to y'all.
Yeah, so Jasmine Crockett was on the Breakfast Club, right? That's bad built, blonde built, you know that, right? And I watched the entire interview, and I was watching Charlemagne and Envy praise her for how her specific style of messaging plays well for the Democratic Party, because essentially they feel like the Democratic Party is cowards in how they message, and that bad built blonde that plays in this kind of environment, right? And I think it just speaks to the ignorance of the environment, one. But near the end of the conversation, again, like I said, there's praising her. She praised James Claiborne out of South Carolina, and she praised him for aiding Biden in winning his first presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that bothered me because she was also praising Kamala Harris, but it bothered me in the context of how we view politics.
Okay.
James Claiborne absolutely did shape that election, right? He absolutely did help Joe Biden win. But at the moment in time, most of us don't have any reference for history. Bernie Sanders was whooping all their asses.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Nobody remembers this shit or acts like it was just relevant.
Right.
They were not supposed to get the Democratic nod.
They weren't.
Bernie Sanders was.
Right.
And the difference, and I'm not a super Bernie Sanders guy. Bernie Sanders got some faults too. I'm not saying that.
Sure.
But the one thing about Bernie Sanders, what he would have done or what he would have attempted to do was to take the power away from Wall Street.
Yes.
The problem that we don't understand is we voting amongst these racial identity lines, right? But we live in a very imperialist country.
Right.
Part of this conversation is about money, part of this conversation is about race. At the highest levels, it's about money, right? At the lowest levels, it's about race. They keep the money, they control you through the lens of race. You know what I mean? And I was thinking about that even back to Jim Crow, right? America's always been a capitalist country. Always. That's the invention of the nigga.
That's what it was founded on.
Right? The invention of the nigga came through the concept of capitalism.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, put this in perspective. We just read off some of them Jim Crow laws, right? We had to make a law for them to take your money.
Yes.
Think about that level of hate. We always talk about this motherfucking generational wealth shit. In this country, I was born in 1976.
Right.
These laws were on the books up until the 70s. Right? There had to be laws made for a capitalist motherfucker to take your money.
That's how committed we are to the team.
That's how committed we are to the team. Which means that we don't give a fuck about your money.
No.
You understand?
All that shit is just a tool for us to move around this board how we want to. 4 billionaires just bought 70% of the office space in downtown Detroit. 4 niggas just bought 70% of all of the office space in downtown Detroit. What the fuck is about to happen to Detroit?
I'm glad you said that, because this brings me back to Jasmine Crockett's ass and the lies they spew, right? She also ends the conversation in support of Biden and talking about how the black middle class is on the uptick. Right? So we hear these like half-ass truths and think they be the truth. Right? So I pulled the fucking data. Because she's saying this shit out loud and motherfuckers is praising her. You go to the comments like, man, she should run for this office and she's great. And no, she's lying to your dumb ass, and they get away with it because you don't know and we don't pay attention. Right? So here's the basic data, right? I pulled it up. One says defragility. Key takeaways. Black households had the largest percentage increase of any group in median net worth from 2019 to 22, up to 60% growth, to reach a number of $44,900, right? I'm gonna read all these and then I'm gonna tell you why they're significant. The median income for black households was $52,860 according to the U.S. Census Bureau. That compared to $77,250 for white households, a difference of $24,000, 32%, February 5th, 2024. However, according to the survey from Consumer Finance's, median black wealth increased from $27,970 to $44,890, but continue to lag amongst other racial groups January 9, 2004. Now, like I said, it was a 60% jump to 44,000. That's what they say. Conceptually, that sounds one way. but you have to put in perspective a few things. There's a difference between the median and the mean, right? You have to give context for the society in which they're grabbing these numbers from. We are in the middle of the largest wealth transfer in the history of this country, right? So the number growth looks one way if you're comparing it to the old scale.
Sure.
Right? When you compare it to the new scale, the growth just evens out. Your 44,000 is now your 29,000.
Sure, but even the fact that a 60% jump
to 44,000
lands you at 44, that means you came from 20?
Yeah. 29, that's what I said, 2970.
Okay, right.
You know what I mean? Well, 24, I'm sorry, 24 and 900.
Half would have been the whole 100. Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's nuts, bro.
It is, but that's how the lie works. We tell you half truth,
right?
And if you not paying attention, or if you ignorant, you be like, yeah, we on the uptick, we rising, we going this way and that way. No, motherfucker, right? In 1996 for 24,000, you probably could have got a 1-bedroom apartment. In 2024, a 1-bedroom apartment gonna cost you that whole 44.
100%.
You know what I mean? Just to survive. But we don't pay attention to those things, man. It's just very interesting. We're in a very interesting time, man. Like, I'm not disillusioned about what this election represents. Like, I ain't one of them fatalists, like, this is the most important election of your life. I don't believe none of these elections are the most important election of your life. But I think that it is every day, and this time specifically is one of the more important times that we become conscious of black identity and what that means, right? Because the erasure is happening at lightning speed. Right, the fact that Donald Trump is considering the Byron Downs is because that's another Jasmine Crockett getting into that shit too. They talked about that they not really hearing that black voters are really considering Trump. I don't know what streets they on. I hear that shit all the time, and them people ain't got no reason to lie to me.
No, we know Patai rocking.
You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of people that's rocking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they was like, man, those are narratives that's being created by the media. That's not really true on the grounds. Bullshit is very true on the grounds, and I'm not saying I'm an advocate of that. I'm saying is that, one, if you don't believe that that's a real narrative, you're disconnected from the truth, right? But the reason why it's a real narrative, because when you are fucked over and fucked up, you start grasping at straws to survive,
right?
Whatever it looks like.
100%. Corner Combo said they went down the rabbit hole on that Detroit thing. I'd be interested to see what you found on that. Deborah said, do we know P. Ray? Yeah, we know P. Ray. She's been on the show before. Shout out to P. Ray. We went to high school together. So you talked about like what you could do for a certain price in the 90s versus what you can't do now, right? And we talk about that context a lot in like sports and shit, where, you know, somebody might have signed a $18 million contract in the 90s, like, oh shit, and now these contracts is $300 million and shit like that. But I don't know that you was that much more well off than the $40 million contract back then. You know what I'm saying?
Will Bynum and Big Baby going to jail for health insurance fraud.
They are.
That's perspective for you.
They are.
You understand what I'm saying? They're going to jail for Will is in jail from my understanding, and Big Baby is signing up next week or something.
I know Will got 18 months. I don't know if he started it already, and I'm pretty sure he probably have. Shout out to Will, man. Get through that shit.
Yeah, salute to Will. Will our brother, but it's not the shit on Will or Big Baby.
Nah, but it's the context.
It's context.
Yeah.
Right? Here's 2 NBA players who are going to jail for health insurance fraud.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Couple $100,000.
If that.
Yeah.
I think they broke the numbers down from who all of them, like when they could, all of the money through all the athletes, because it's more than just Big Baby.
Yeah, some of them got like 10 years. Like, I think, what's the name? Marcus Williams or something like that?
I think the breakdown, there was like 17,000 per.
Wow.
And once they broke it all down from all of the athletes who was involved in that scandal.
Okay.
Right? Same time, what's the quarterback, white boy from the Green Bay Packers?
Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre. Stealing from Mississippi.
Stole hundreds of $1 millions from Mississippi. Ain't nobody had a conversation about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? The game is afoot, man. It is. We're moving backwards on the social scale if we paying attention. You know what I mean? Max said there's a backstory to the dude who ran up on stage in Milwaukee and said his daughter couldn't shake his hand.
So it was some personal shit. I was wondering, like, when I saw the video, I'm like, is this a personal thing, or is this you don't want her to shake the black man's hand? Either way, the optics were terrible.
But I reverence that there's a backstory, and that God willing there is a backstory.
Yeah.
But to be disillusioned and think that the conversation of racial disparity isn't a real thing is foolish.
Yeah, because
and to be disillusioned and think that the need for understanding of black identity or a real kind of political and social black movement, you be foolish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If we're in the greatest wealth transfer, if we're in the fourth economic revolution of moving into a more tech desired industry, right? We're getting away from like government sanctioned jobs. Where do we think we survive at? Niggas don't work for Google, bro.
No.
Right? Black folks don't work for YouTube, G.
That's what I'm saying about the 70% of office space in Detroit going to fold billionaires. They not finna fill up those offices with black workers.
They not even finna fill up them offices.
Yeah, probably not. But it damn sure ain't gonna be with black people.
High-rise condos to enjoy the new downtown Detroit. That's what it's gonna be.
And they're gonna push further into the west side of Detroit and east side of Detroit. And it's like, you see it here. You see the University of Chicago doing it here. They going as far south as they can. They are, first of all, their university police department is a fully accredited police department. Like, they got all the powers of any other police department in their jurisdiction.
The largest private police force in the world outside of the Vatican.
And now they're pushing their jurisdiction as far as like 79th Street now. And as far west to like Ashland now. And everything under the University of Chicago's thumbprint is them. They run that. We was in Hyde Park last night having a conversation with somebody to get some shit done in Hyde Park. And I was just curious of how he got one of the things done. I'm like, yo, how did you do that? Salute to do for doing it. How did you do that? University of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, that makes sense. They are taking all the apartments that's right next to my crib. They've bought them all to turn them into student housing. They kicked all them people out, bro.
And there's 24-hour private security walking up and down them blocks every night.
All the time.
All the time.
And
I didn't know they were University of Chicago. You told me that shit.
Yeah.
I thought they were city sanctioned because I ride my bike through that shit all the time. I didn't know that was University of Chicago.
University of Chicago. They turned that into student housing, and we talking a few thousand residents that they just like, y'all gotta be out of here. And some of them didn't have nowhere to go, so they was just holding on as long as they could. And then the day came, and when I tell you that they went in the door to door, opening doors and putting shit out on the street, that's exactly what they did, bro.
FC Cable Access says, brother, among voting black people, they are not switching to Trump. I'd argue you wrong, bro. Now, it's not in mass, right? But think about how we vote traditionally anyway. We vote like at a 90% clip. But be clear, though, right? It is the black vote that upholds the Democratic Party. A 15% shift or a 12% shift, I think is the real number in black voting habits, would demolish the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying that in support of the Democratic Party. I'm saying this is just a numbers game.
Yeah, what I view it as is an opportunity, because they know too. That's why you go get a Kamala Harris. That's why you do the Chucks and Pearls. That's why you go AKA Howard. That's why you go do commencement speech at Morehouse. That's, you know what I mean. That's why you do these things. Y'all understand the importance of that, and to try and prevent that pendulum swinging just 12%. You know that's doomed for you.
It's doomed.
The Democrats ain't won the presidential election by 13, 14% in a long time. So you know that 12% is critical. You know it.
It just, we ain't got to stay on this topic because I really wanted to have a lighter day, to be quite honest. But I just happened to see those statements and how the press was playing them. It just irritated me, man. But one thing that I do want to, on a lighter note, did you happen to see Ray J on Shannon Sharpe?
Oh, yes, I did.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
I did.
So I
couldn't stop watching it. Something's wrong with him.
I don't know if something's wrong with him. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be curious to hear your take. But there is, a few years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, actually, Vince Staples was on The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
Vince Staples, for those who don't know, is a LA rapper. Also, at this point, I guess a director, because he has a show on Netflix. It's really, really good, actually. I like Vince Staples' show on Netflix. I've never heard any of Vince Staples' music, so I don't know. Okay. He does great interviews, though. I think he's hilarious, right? Never heard none of his music, so I'm not going to judge his music. I don't know it. Right? But on one of his earlier interviews, like 10 years ago, man, and I just thought it was hilarious when he said it, but he he said that Ray J was the greatest influencer of all culture in the world. He was like, nothing happens unless Ray J sanctions it. And it was some shit that, people hear, they laugh at it, they keep pushing, right?
I think it's hilarious.
Conceptually, who's Ray J, right? Like Ray J's most famous record is Oh Brandy's Brother. Like at the end of the day, that's who you are. You're Brandy's little brother.
He is Brandy's brother.
You rode your way.
One Wish is fire though.
You rode your way.
One Wish song is fire.
One Wish, whatever. It was the worst off-key song ever recorded that went out.
One Wish.
Right? But my point is, he's ridden his wave to success off the back of being Brandy's brother. Now he's created his own brand out here since that time.
Folks is so whooping.
But outside of that, he's really just Brandy's brother, right?
He is big blood.
But but in the Shannon Sharpe interview, the clip that I saw, though,
I can't believe it. I don't care how. I
Ray
don't care what he
J
says.
made a statement that kind of does prove that he has shaped culture for at least the last 20 years.
Man, what?
The man said, Shannon was like, man, something like, what would be the difference in your career without the sex tape with Kim Kardashian? Right. For those of us, again, who don't know, Ray J is the guy who made the sex tape with Kim Kardashian.
I hit it first.
It's the largest selling sex tape in the history of sex tapes, right? He has 49% ownership in the sales of those sex tapes, right? So he's making some bread off that sex tape, right? But his response to Shannon Sharpe was, how different would all of this be?
BT said, wait a minute, what's the motherfucking hit?
He said,
wait a minute.
How different would the world be? How different would the entertainment industry be?
Right.
And he's right. And I mean, fuck the entertainment industry part. The world be.
If what? If he didn't make the sex tape?
If not for the existence of Ray J.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, nigga, I'm dead ass.
I'm not going
I'm dead ass.
I'm not going with
Ray
you. Ray
J is as influential as Martin Luther the King right now.
Man, knock it the fuck off.
It sounds insane.
It is insane.
It sounds so insane. But it's not.
Ray J? Brandy's brother?
Think about this, G. He had sex with Kim Kardashian. Who's Kim Kardashian before the Ray J sex tape?
I don't know.
Nobody!
Right.
She's a closet cleaner. No, you laughing. She's Paris Hilton's sidekick.
No, I know.
She's nobody. She that's what she was. She was Brandy's closet organizer.
Paris.
Whatever the fuck it was. No, Brandy. That's what she was doing for Brandy too.
Oh, she was doing it for Brandy?
She was Brandy's closet organizer.
Okay.
That's who she was.
Okay.
Right? With Ray J having a sex tape, he makes this woman into a celebrity because he's a celebrity. At the time, this was not as common as it is now.
She made the sex tape.
Whoever the fuck made the sex tape. My point is, celebrity sex tapes being publicized was not a thing.
Sure.
Right? It becomes a thing. Now, what do we have? We have OnlyFans. We have Twitter models. We have IG models. Now let's go back to their influence.
Mac is with you. He popularized sex tapes and made marketing gold.
Think about the Dave Chappelle joke when we say, what would Ja Rule think? Ray J created all that shit. He created a celebrity culture where these motherfuckers began to matter in every way possible. I'm so serious, G. Ray J is Martin Luther King for this culture. He is. He is. You can't deny it.
I hate y'all so much right now.
You can't deny it, G.
Is he also the biggest blood?
BT say low-key his earbuds are decent, too.
The Ray, what do they call Ray something?
He made Bloods become popular in the entertainment industry. You know what I mean? It's Ray J.
Unbreakable glass.
Ray J. He's Martin Luther King of anybody under 35.
Go get a Ray J tattoo today.
I'm not going to get shit. I still honor Martin Luther King. I'm not under 35. It's Ray J. G.
Breakfast Club hot.
He made the Breakfast Club the Breakfast Club. I didn't even think about that one.
When he went up there talking about Fab?
It was Ray J.
When he called from Vegas?
He was Ray J.
I'm gonna get my blood homies to
the Breakfast
rape
Club
that nigga.
was on the way to going out of business. They was not getting the numbers they were suspected to get. Ray J came on there, acted a fool. They numbers shot through the roof. Got them another 6 months on their contract. It was Ray J. G. Ray J did it all. Ray J is Martin Luther King.
All hail Ray J.
For right. Whatever this fake hip hop culture is. It's Ray J, G.
All hail Ray J.
It's Ray J.
That's the name of the show.
That's crazy, G. Ray J is Martin Luther King for them.
Ray J is Martin Luther King.
You said you watched the whole thing. You didn't get inspired?
Fuck no. I think he's a little slow.
Well, I just told you before the cameras came on, most people born after 1980 are borderline retarded.
Fuck you. I was born in 1980. And hey, listen, all y'all points are valid. I'm not gonna sit here and be ignorant and argue against y'all's points.
Ray Cons, look at it. Everybody knows Ray J's accomplishments.
Fuck no, nigga.
Ray J can run for governor of California right now.
Max say he worth $14 million.
I don't give a fuck what he's worth. My point is his influence has created the culture that we identify with. He's the GOAT.
Ray J the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, G. He is. He's the GOAT.
Oh my God. Okay, whatever. I won't, whatever.
She says Ray J only had success because that girl was white. Nobody would have cared if it smashed a black girl. You can put in whatever amendment you want. Ray J did it.
Ray J did it first.
Ray J did it first.
Not Soulja Boy, right? Ray J.
Gardner said that's so disrespectful to Martin Luther King. I agree, Gardner. I agree 100%. But what it really speaks to is the level of ignorance that we operating with as a community, right? Ray J, again, it's funny, but it's not funny, right? The man's statement was exactly that. How different would it all be? How different would the world be? How different would entertainment be? Now, the world might be a step because I can't speak to the world, but I can speak to fucking America, right? I can say that America has elected presidents because of their ignorance and entertainment value. I can say that. I can say that vehemently. What the fuck is Trump but a caricature, right? What I'm saying is Ray J, ushered in this culture. He did. He ushered in this culture. It sounds insane. And it is disrespectful to King. It should be disrespectful for us.
But that is the culture.
But that is the culture, and we'd be lying to say it wasn't.
I appreciate y'all, man. I needed this laugh. I haven't laughed in like 5 days. This was great.
Yeah. Yep. Patah says MLK was doing all that marching because he was, never mind, I ain't gonna read that. But again, it sounds insane, G. We laughing at it, but I'm not laughing.
I'm laughing.
The statement that he made was, how different would it all be? And he fake deep or whatever. You know, he got into his emotions again. I ain't see the whole interview, just saw the clip.
Yeah.
But he said, how different would it all be? That's a hell of a statement to make. How different would the world be?
Without Ray J.
How different would entertainment be? And think about the power that entertainment has. We make the joke about when we laugh when Dave Chappelle brings up, what would Ja Rule think? But we live in a world where, man, think about how many times motherfuckers won't even report on it until TMZ reports on it.
Right. And that's the 20-mile zone.
20-mile zone.
All
That's
about
what
celebrity
TMZ stands for, 20-mile zone.
Right.
Right?
For Hollywood shit.
How much television, radio, or any media outlet do you engage in that doesn't engage around celebrity and entertainment? Right? The shit that we doing here, man, we call it intellectual thuggery because we got the deal in the bullshit. Or you won't tune in. Right? We know that. When we clip this shit up, we ain't finna clip up the shit I said about motherfucking Byron Donalds. What we gonna clip up is Ray J. Cause that's what the fuck is gonna move. And we know it. We know it. Am I wrong?
We gotta get Ray J on
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're
Who the
not
fuck
wrong.
is gonna clip up the Jasmine Crockett conversation we just had? Who the fuck is gonna clip up the Byron Davidson, Donald's conversation we just had?
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
But me comparing Ray J to King, oh, that's getting clipped the fuck up. Cause it's going to move. That's the culture. And we be a fool to say he wasn't influential in that.
Does that make us partakers?
Oh, absolutely. Right? You have to partake. You got to put medicine in the candy. You got to partake or you don't get any, or nobody pays the fuck attention. Right? That's why Jasmine Crockett can get on the goddamn Breakfast Club praising James Clyburn from South Carolina when I demonized the motherfucker.
Damn.
Right? That's why the fact that even though, again, I'm not a Bernie Sanders guy, but just basic math and how elections work. If I won the primary, if I'm kicking ass everywhere, and all of a sudden the tides turn and we don't talk about your ass no more, how you do that? It's bait and switch. But you can do that to a stupid motherfucker who's only amused through the lens of entertainment. How do you leverage a conversation like Chucks and Pearls? You just brought that shit up. How do you leverage it? How do you leverage it with a woman who grew up with Brahmin Indian parents in the wealthiest community in Canada as a black woman in the 1960s.
Right.
How do you do that other than just leverage the lens of entertainment? How do you do it?
You can't.
Yeah, Ray J, nigga. Ray J.
All hell King Ray J.
Ray J, G. That's insane,
Oh,
but
my
there's some
God.
truth to that shit, G.
Oh my God.
I get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cherie says, I get that Ray J capitalized on the sex tape, but that may have been luck. Any old black peen would have been able to do the same. What if it was DMX who beat them Kardashian cheeks? Then it would have been DMX. But it ain't DMX, it's Ray J.
I can't find a real logical pushback on what you said, brother. Other than my mind tells me we would, the society would end up here with or without Ray J. But I love the references y'all made, the Breakfast Club, the sex tape, the whatever the fuck he did.
Think about how much influence all that shit has. I'm making a joke, I ain't being funny.
No, but
Right? But Charlamagne
truth
from
said
the
in jest.
Breakfast Club would not exist had not Ray J. He wouldn't exist in the way we know him if had not Ray J went up there and did what Ray J did, right? What is Charlamagne today? What is Charlamagne for the 20
A fucking
to
thought leader.
35-year-olds? You fucking right he is.
Mhm.
He fucking is, right? Why does political candidates have to come through the Breakfast Club, right? Because Charlamagne has become a fucking thought leader.
On the back of Ray J
On the back of fucking Ray J, bro.
and Birdman.
On the back of fucking Ray J.
All three of
You
y'all.
don't get the Birdman if Ray J don't do Ray J.
Ray J called them people. It was like
I'm serious though.
It was like 5 in the morning. He called them people from Vegas, drunk as hell. Talking
Name-
about, "Fam, I'm gonna
name-
apologize."
Name another black outlet high value political candidates gotta come through.
No, that's real, Joe.
They don't come to VON.
No, they don't.
You understand what I'm saying? Shit, name another black outlet. That ain't even a black outlet. That's just a black show on a white outlet.
Right.
But name a black show of relevance.
I'm with you when you're right, brother.
Yeah, fuck out of here, G.
I'm with you when you're right, man. God.
Dead ass. Ray J shaped this country for the last 20 years.
Before we get to our closing topic, Ray J for president.
I'm not saying Ray J for president.
Yeah,
I'm saying
Ray J for
let's go the
president.
fuck up and read a few books. Straight up.
Oh my
God
God.
said thought leader, I cringe when I hear that. Me too, but can we deny the fact?
No.
How many best-selling books does he have? Right? Joe Biden came to Charlamagne.
That nigga went on a tour. I went to his shit when he came here. I don't know why or how, but I was at his thing when he came here. Why the fuck was I there? I didn't stay either. Anyway.
Shit, I just said Jasmine Crockett was on the Breakfast Club. Where did she go when she had her biggest moment? Even though her biggest moment was on some circus shit.
You go there. You go to the house that Ray J built.
This the circus, bro. This the circus, and Ray J is the goddamn ringleader. Straight up.
Hey man, I'm with Gardens on this. This is hilariously cringy, bro.
It is, but can we deny the fact?
I won't deny it, my brother. I won't deny it. Ray J, all hail Ray J. Ray J.
No, let's not do that. I'm not hailing them. I'm just pointing
What
out.
do you mean?
I'm putting the mirror in our
Said
faces.
he built society. How do you not hail the nigga who built society?
I shun them. It's a bunch of motherfuckers that build a bunch of societies that are assholes.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't hail the leaders and shit either, but that's what you say is what I'm saying. I mean, generally speaking, I'm not saying you, like that's what you say. All hail King, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
That's embarrassing, Jay. Ray J influence is greater than that of Dr. King's.
This is gonna be our last show. We getting
Hey,
pulled off the
They gonna be
internet.
taking me out of context like Byron Donalds. I don't give a shit. It's the truth though. I want us to look in the mirror.
Wow.
The other thing, man, Bloodhound Lil Jeff gets murdered.
Wait.
You want to go to Bloodhound Lil Jeff?
I do, but before we finish, I want to finish up with that. The NBA Finals. You watching this shit?
In bits and pieces.
Okay.
Kyrie missing in action.
Kyrie is not to be found right now, bro. Like, and I don't know if it's because the Celtics got Drew Holiday guarding him, and Drew Holiday just got that much. I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. And it's crazy because the Celtics, Jason Tatum ain't killing either. Jason Tatum averaging like 15 these 2 games, something like that.
Well, they didn't have a big game from Porzingis. Huge game.
Porzingis, I want to beat Porzingis' ass on that first game because I bet on it. We watching the game and we both had bet on the game. So you do all these little parlays and pick all these things you think gonna happen in the game. All this shit is happening, except we like Porzingis less than 16 points. That nigga had 16 in the first quarter. Okay, what's going on? We like fuck.
So again, all the world's a stage.
Mm-hmm.
Every actor plays his part, right? Y'all argue with me about me saying Larry Bird was not really that good,
right? That's crazy.
You can say all you want. What happens between, again, what I say, at the highest level is the money conversation, at the lowest level is a race conversation, right? They leverage Larry Bird to push the envelope of the labor and Magic Johnson, to push the racial envelope of the NBA to make the NBA popularized, right?
Yeah.
Kyrie has some very staunch views about shit.
Right.
Even though Kyrie don't really line up on the black ideology thought side. He really don't.
His new shoes is an ode to it's an ode to Native Americans. They got like tassels on the back.
Yeah.
He showed up to all the games.
He speaks more about like this Indian kind of ideology than this black ideology. But in standing on the side of I'm not gonna take the jab, and standing on the side of they can demonize him because he's a nigga.
He's a flat earther.
But they demonize him through the lens of you a nigga.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you put him on the team with the white boy,
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic, right? So the Celtics is still the Celtics. They a black team, but the Boston
is Boston.
You know what I mean? And you get Porzingis to perform the way he did, you got a new narrative, right? You got Kyrie dancing on the logo a couple years ago, whatever it was. Oh, we got a black and white narrative right here, bro. It's still black. It's still performance action. It's Ray J, nigga. It's all entertainment.
That's always gonna sell.
It's always gonna sell, bro. To that fact, I don't want to leave sports either. What did you think about this Caitlyn conversation?
That's exactly where I was going.
They talking about this bullshit that they
like she got snubbed from the Olympic team.
But how can you even have that conversation?
In what fucking planet is she one of the 12 best basketball players?
In what planet?
In what fucking planet?
She don't even lead amongst rookies in nothing.
Asia Wilson just dropped 40, 20, and 10 for a week straight. Okay? She's so far away from Caitlin fucking Clark, it's unbelievable. And there are definitely more than 12 people in between the two of them. Okay? And she doesn't deserve to be on the fucking team.
And the only conversation we're having around the WNBA is Caitlin Clark.
It's Caitlin Clark. Even the language, that's what offends me. I was watching it when the ticker came and the headline came on, and the language that they use. ESPN, Caitlin Clark left off the national team. Left off. That's the language.
Implies she should be on.
That you see, right? Like she missed the bus. Like we pulled off on her. Like what the fuck are you talking about? She got left off.
That's like saying how Randy Brown didn't make it to the dream team. Randy Brown is supposed to be on the dream team.
Randy Brown left off the dream team. No, Isaiah Thomas got left off the dream team. Okay?
Fuck out of here.
They put Christian Laettner on that motherfucker to leave off.
Isaiah got shafted.
He got left off.
Right, he got left off.
This motherfucker ain't.
Randy, you wasn't supposed to be there. Randy, you wasn't invited.
You weren't invited, son. Caitlin Clark got left off. No, the fuck she didn't.
Yeah, the language is a motherfucker, ain't it?
They picked the 12 best. She ain't one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck is wrong
I think
with
she
y'all?
doesn't lead in any statistical category in any rookie out of any of the rookies. I think she's second in assists. I think that's her highest stat line. I think that's at like 5 or 6 a game. Right.
Stephen A said they messed up the business of it by not including her.
Man, Stephen A is
everything ain't about business.
Fuck Stephen A. I can say that publicly and confidently.
Sure.
He also just recently came out about the Will Smith movie. Like he can't go see the Will Smith movie until he publicly apologizes for slapping Chris Rock. Stephen A. Smith is
shut the fuck up.
A dick hoster, G. I really don't like that man. Bro.
All right. This
full out dick hoster.
He what's
dick hoster, G.
What's the black woman name? She been rising through the ranks of media and sports media lately too, but she was treating this goof ass because she was like, Stephen A., you could have been talking about WNBA. You ain't started talking about this shit till this year. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you could have been talking about the WNBA, and he like, oh, I have. And she like, no, you haven't, nigga. Like, and he got mad. What's her name?
I forget her name, but I saw it, and she had a point. She was right.
She was 100% right.
But Shannon Sharp doubled down and was Jockeying with Stephen A.
Yeah, because of course. Stephen A. also has his own podcast, right? So he got the ESPN shit, but then he has his podcast that he does where he can say things more freely or whatever. He goes on that show that night, on his podcast that night, and says,
He made her.
yeah, who the fuck was she? Did y'all know who? Monica McNutt. Thank you, Gardens be knowing shit. Shout out to Monica McNutt. She does phenomenal work.
I'm about to bring this back to Ray J. Watch me.
She does.
Watch how I do it.
She does phenomenal shit.
I'm finna bring it back to Ray J.
He go on there, he say, who knew Monica McNutt before me, basically? Boy, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
So why would Stephen A. one shit on Monica McNutt that way? Why would he two say anything about the new Bad Boys movie in context of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock? Why would he even have those conversations? Because he ain't having them conversations on ESPN. Why is he having those conversations in his own podcast?
You tell me.
No, why would he have them?
I don't fucking know.
What do you think he would have them for?
I just think he's a self-serving, pompous asshole.
Sure, I don't disagree with any of that.
That's what I think. So you go at Monica McNutt because you wanna punch down at her. For what? That woman is on the rise doing her thing. Leave that sister alone. Fuck is wrong with you?
So Monica McNutt is her own person in her own right. She's like been the NBA commentator for the Knicks games for like years.
Right? She's dope.
Yeah, she's not up and coming. She's not an upstart. She's been around.
She's
you
dope.
know what I mean? She's on the rise, but she's not like just showed up in the game.
No, by the time you get to that kind of national level, you
done some shit.
It's the whole theory of overnight success and shit like that. And Big Sean always said it best. I guess it took 10 years for me to be overnight success. You know what I'm saying?
But the fact that Stephen A. Smith is having conversations about Bad Boys movie and not going to see it in Will Smith because even though that's not your lane, nobody comes to you about that.
Right.
It's entertainment is what moves the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Even what you do is entertainment. Sports is still entertainment, right? But when you, it's why Joe Budden has a podcast. It's why Nori has a podcast. It's why we can just keep going down the line, right? One, there's not enough space in this one industry, and because once you generate or gain celebrity, you can do other things to capitalize.
Right.
But it's all about entertainment.
Right.
Because none of the other shit has any value.
Right.
So even when you get to news anchors now, you got their ass mixing in rap lines to tell you about the weather.
I saw Shannon Sharp say that exact thing today. This morning, they was talking about LeBron James for some goofy shit he said or took offense to from Kendrick Perkins. But anyway, they brought up his him and JJ Redick got that podcast, and Perkins was like, the show's supposed to be about the X's and O's and the deep levels of the game. But y'all on here talking pop culture shit and all kind of other shit. And Shannon Sharp say, well, when you get a podcast, you'll understand that you gotta get into some of that shit for people to come. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I want my podcast to be lit, but I gotta go yada, yada, yada.
No, it's only one conversation in America. Ray J. It sounds insane. No, we dead ass. We for real here, G.
Okay, come on.
Stephen A. Smith, right? Sportscaster on every fucking show on ESPN. Goes off on his own and can't hold a conversation outside of this lane because this is all the people care about. TMZ has become the valid place for news. That's all people care about. Right? That's it. So then you get to the entertainer. You're a rapper. And you no longer make money here. You just find another way to do it. You just talk about other rappers. Right? This is where our minds are. Right? It's no place is void of this conversation. No place is void of this conversation. Right? Donald Trump is a conversation on the Breakfast Club. Right? A fucking music, essentially, podcast.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
You can't, they run parallel. Right? The conversations that's happening at the White House and the conversations that's happening at the Breakfast Club is the same goddamn conversations because it's all a fucking show. It's Shakespearean, G. Every actor plays a part in the world's a stage or however the fuck the statement goes. Right? Now, granted, I'm making a joke about Ray J, but that is how simple this shit is. Right? I remember you couldn't go to my grandmama's house without hearing the goddamn Channel 11 on all day long. Right? I remember you couldn't get in my father's car without hearing NPR all day long, right? Outside of my vehicles, I don't know the last time I got in somebody's car and NPR was playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know what comes on the fuck. I don't even watch TV at all, personally. You know what I mean? But I'm addicted to information, right? Because most people are, because we live in this kind of cycle of constant stimulation. Now, the difference in my stimulation and most people's is what stimulates me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And in that, I'll hear information and I got to go find opposite information to confirm or deny. But I like bullshit too. I do hood rat shit with my friends too. I'm not saying I'm above that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we are in a society that's inundated and addicted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Addicted to this shit. And the 99% of this shit is poison. So when you become Stephen A. Smith and you jump out the window to do your own thing, you got to take the poison too. Because it's all this selling. It's the only thing that's important out here to the people. Is dope. Where's the dope? When you got a fucking heroin addict, he don't give a shit about nothing but the heroin.
That's it.
That's it. And we all addicted to the heroin.
That's it. I watched a man hand wash a car last night. It was 45 degrees outside.
Man. The Bloodhound Lil Jeff shit. Right? I don't know if y'all hip to the story, man. Last night, I think it was, or the night before. The night before, a young drill rapper named Bloodhound Lil Jeff was gunned down in the middle of 66 and Rhodes, I believe it was. Right? And it was a midday, not night. It was a midday shooting. Right? Only reason this story is relevant.
If y'all remember, and y'all was watching like a week or two ago, probably last week actually.
Yeah, it was not that long ago.
We referenced a clip from a podcast that this dude DJ U does. Is that what the podcast is called? I don't know. But DJ U.
You know the name of it?
DJ U TV. All right. He has a podcast, and we saw a clip on it last week, or at least coming into last week, and we referenced it on the show. These young drill rappers, and during the podcast, they are snorting lines off of the table. Like, just in the middle of this, they just snorting lines.
Mid-conversation.
Oh, hold on. What was you saying?
Mid-conversation. And I saw this shit by accident, and it fucked me up.
I was overblew.
I couldn't believe it.
Overblew. Not only one, that y'all did it, but two, that DJ U
aired it. And it got...
And clipped it. I didn't see the show. I saw this clip.
I ain't never seen the show. You're right. I just saw the I'm snorting drugs clip.
So we was overblew and referenced it on the show last week. That's the dude, one of the dudes who was snorting lines off the DJ.
The main guy.
Right. The interview was about him, but him and his partner was snorting the shit and then come to find out they was crushed up Percocets, which is even crazier. I assumed it was cocaine. They were crushing up Percocets and snorting them. The main guy is the guy that
Bloodhound Lil Jeff.
Bloodhound Lil Jeff.
So again, I don't know nothing about Bloodhound Lil Jeff. When we talked about the original story about the kids snorting cocaine during the interview, I didn't know his name.
Right.
I just thought it was OC. I didn't even know he was from Chicago.
Right. I knew he was from Chicago. All DJ UTV shit is mostly Chicago shit.
Okay. Well, I don't know him either.
Right.
But I was appalled by the fact that it was aired. I was appalled at the fact that the shorty had the audacity to do it.
They were testing the word.
I was appalled that this was the culture that permeates.
Shout out to all the day ones who get that joke that BT is making.
Right. I was appalled by that shit. But again, I ain't think nothing else of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Today they reported that Bloodhound Lil Jeff got killed. I didn't associate the two. I didn't know that was the same person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
In the Bloodhound Lil Jeff story, though, it becomes interesting to me. It became interesting to me 5 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. Right? Because some other people in the studio knew a little more about Bloodhound Lil Jeff than I did.
Pete.
Right? Pete. P's a historian around drill music and drill culture.
Pete told me this last night.
He's an authority on drill culture. Pete, he's the Dr. Umar of drill culture.
If you want to know some hood shit,
Pete knows.
Ask Pete.
Pete be knowing shit.
Pete be knowing the little set names and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
He's from Tay-Town. He's a drill thought leader.
Right. This what Pete told me last night. He say, nigga, You from over east. You been over there your whole life. You don't be knowing none of this shit, nigga. That nigga from over east. I said, okay, I don't know this nigga, man. I'm like, who is he? He like, the drill rapper nigga. I was like, I don't know this nigga, P. I said, P, how old is he? He like 20, 21. I don't know no fucking 21-year-olds, nigga. But P do. P know all the shit.
P is the Martin Luther King of drill culture.
Hey, time out. This how much P know all the hood shit. We go to the liquor store, hood liquor store, right? We go to the hood liquor store. He grabbed his bottle, I grab my bottle, and we just chilling. We on some hood shit, just about to chill and hang out. I go to pay for my shit. Lady say, whoop the band, whatever the price was. I go to swipe. Here go P jump back from the other counter. Wait! It's code 29 such and such. I said, you got a fucking code at the hood liquor store? She erased all my order shit. Code PI. My motherfucking price dropped like $10. I say, this nigga is the coldest nigga alive, Joe. I said, what the fuck is going on? P know all the shit.
P a legend.
A fucking legend, Joe.
A fucking legend. But P says, man, you ain't see how Shorty got killed? Because all I hear is Shorty got killed.
Right.
And I knew that there was a video of that, but I'll turn that shit over. I can't watch that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like he was on the drill. For those of I know some of our audience is a little older. What a drill is that he was going to kill somebody else, right? And in the midst of going to kill somebody else, they chased whoever they was trying to kill to his front doorstep. He makes it into the house, closes the door, shoots back from behind the door, kills Shorty.
One shot.
Right? I don't have any empathy for Shorty.
No.
None at all.
No.
You right? But what was wild about this shit is, again, when Pete tells me this shit, the story it's a soap opera, right? The shit gets more and more intriguing. So I looked the Bloodhound Lil Jeff nigga up. He died yesterday. When you pull up Bloodhound Lil Jeff in the YouTube search bar, every conversation is like one of them documentaries on Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Mm-hmm. Then you get to actual Bloodhound Lil Jeff's music, right? Which is way down in the algorithm now.
Right.
Right? The highest number of views that Bloodhound Lil Jeff has on any of those videos that I saw was like 4,000. Mm-hmm. The highest views or the standardized or the normal amount of views on these other documentaries of his death from yesterday was like 40, 28, all thousands.
Right.
Right? He's become 10 times more popular in his death than in his life.
But also more popular for being a young shooter than a young rapper.
But even him being a young rapper was based on him being a young shooter.
Right.
Right?
Now, I also heard that he allegedly was responsible for the downtown shooting that claimed the life of 2 teenagers after the school a couple months back.
Which was also caught on video from the upstairs L perspective that made the news.
Right.
Right. And I don't know that to be true. Right.
Right.
But my point is, right, and I asked Pete a question. I was like, gee, what drives this shit? What drives this kind of energy? You know what I mean? Again, I'm a Chicagoan. Everybody in here is real Chicagoans, right? There's no point in time in the history of our lives that we've been adverse to witnessing or living in communities void of like murderous behaviors. There's always been this is a violent culture. It just is, right? And not to justify the violent culture that we all came up in. And I was intimately in tune with the community that I came up in.
We all know killers.
Right? We all know killers, right? We all know people who've been murdered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because we were in it, at some level, you know the depths of what caused those beefs.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And maybe through the lens of my own young eyes, I justified, I don't want to say justified, but let's say understood, right?
There was usually a why.
It was a why that...
Whether it was a logical...
Whether it was valid or not, there was a why at that time that made sense to me.
Right.
And maybe through the lens of my young eyes, maybe it was ignorance, I don't know, right? But when I look at this stuff, I can't, and again, I'm separated from it, so, you know, I'm not judging, though judging. I'm trying to understand the why, right? And I was like, is it just for notoriety, right? And P being the historian of the culture that he is, right? Was like, I think it is just notoriety, i.e. celebrity, i.e. Ray J shaped the culture.
P and Ray J for president and vice president, Joe. We're gonna call it PJ. That's gonna be their campaign.
That's some wild shit, bro.
No, it's very wild, and it is for notoriety. And what's crazy about that is growing up, like I said, we all knew killers. You knew they was killers, but that wasn't why they were killing.
And you're younger than me. Everybody else in here is younger than me. Right? Be clear about this. I know a bunch of killers.
Right.
They were not publicizing the fact that we were doing this.
No.
Right? Your grandma didn't know to beware of Shanky and them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Nah.
Because Shanky and them would get your grandmama's bags and call her miss.
100%.
Right? Now what they did when the street lights came on was very different.
So some of the killers I know are 55, 60. You know what I mean? And they was that. You know what I mean? They was second generation GD. Like, you know what I'm saying? These is Lil Larry's and them type of shits. You know what I'm saying? They that age. But all them niggas, so-and-so pull up on the block, they dip. Or they stop doing whatever the fuck they were doing. You know what I mean? And even the killing itself wasn't this thing to be aired and to be publicized and to be
done under the cloak of darkness.
Yeah. It wasn't like, I'm cool because I'm a killer. I'm just cool. And I'll kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
and I wouldn't even say that. Again, I'm giving pause for the lens in which I was looking at this shit through at 0 to
I'm
18,
talking about looking at it as an adult.
25.
I know these people still.
But the culture shift is still. Right? So at this back end, they might be, accessing the benefits of what the culture represents today.
Okay, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
What I'm saying is that it was not nothing to be proud of. It was like the cloak of darkness, right? It was a necessity for survival. It was a necessity to capitalize. Again, and I might be fully wrong, because I might have been more immersed in that conversation then, felt a different way about it. But as I get older, like most people, you get more and more conservative. You're like, man, what the fuck is wrong? You know what I mean? So I don't know, but just from the lens that I'm looking at it today, it's like, what the fuck is the driver?
Nah, it wasn't a notoriety thing, man. If you was in it, you knew who would shoot, who had what bodies, but it wasn't this, I'm doing this so I can be like famous on the internet type shit. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't what that shit was about. It was just, okay. You know what I'm saying? Well,
keep fucking with me. Keep playing.
Listen.
Keep stealing. You know what I mean? It was that kind of shit.
He will absolutely leave your ass right there. Stop playing with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Or he was the nigga that people go get for shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a problem. I got a problem I can't bring nobody else. Can you solve this? What is the problem? Okay. Is it another way to solve it? If it ain't, okay. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just, I don't know, man. It's wild as hell, but to see Shorty snorting the lines last week and then hear him get murdered this week, and how he didn't get murdered, he got killed in self-defense. This week, but then also to learn his history of all his street activities, just like, and his story's not uncommon.
He's in self-defense. We gotta get another term for that, because he was the aggressor. Like, he wasn't defending shit. He
got killed in self-defense. The other dude was defending himself.
Oh, okay, right.
Which is crazy too, though. Y'all not even smart, bro. How do you pursue somebody back to their house?
Arrogance.
And keep pursuing them. Okay, I'm pursuing you. Okay, I'm trying to do you in. But if I'm trying to do you in because we beating about this, that, and third, I know where your hood is. I know what your block is. Nigga, if you get that far to your block, watch me, I'm in pursuit, abort mission. We will try this again another day. I'm not pursuing you to your fucking front. If you made it to your front door, I am scared now. Okay, if you made it to your block, I'm scared now. Because if you chase me back to my block, and by the time I get there, I didn't call, hey, I'm gonna pull up, these niggas on my heels, be ready, nigga. Don't turn down Mike. You fucking stupid.
You know what, man? I just had this thought. Like throughout all the conversations we've had today, one of the things that I always stand on is that the universe, much like the body, is a perfect mechanism. Right? It's self-correcting and self-cleansing. It will fix itself. Right? At the Bloodhound Lil Jeff shooting, there was 40 shell casing on the scene. 40, right?
He got killed by a single shot.
The dude who shot him shot one time.
So y'all come dumping on his block like crazy.
The universe will self-correct, G.
Hey.
Right?
Max said Mythical Scott that needs to power wash the whole thing and start over.
But it's actually happening.
It's happening.
It's actually happening.
It's happening.
You know what I mean?
And it needs to.
It's actually happening, but you better line up on the right fucking side because you'll get washed out.
It needs to, man. Because humans are fucking awful beings, and the shit that happens in this world on a daily basis, whether it's isolated shootings like Lil Jeff, or it's fucking genocide in the Middle East or whatever, like, or genocide in Africa, like this.
Or it's a whole drove of a society following behind the ideas of Ray J.
Right.
Same shit to me.
Fuck Ray J. We gotta go.
Fuck the Ray J followers.
We gotta go. We got all hell King Ray J, man.
See, fuck you there. Fuck you there.
We gotta go, man.
Y'all this shit out.
Y'all look out for the new campaign posters. PJ for president and vice president.
Oh, also we got a couple events coming up. I don't know if we're gonna air again before.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna air again before. I was waiting for. There's one more thing that needs to happen today.
Well, we can talk about the Juneteenth.
We will be at the Woodline for Juneteenth. Shout out to the Woodline. Shout out to Donnell. We'll be at the Woodline doing the live broadcast on Juneteenth. I think that's Wednesday, next Wednesday.
We actually go on at 4. Shout out to Corner Convo. They'll be there too. They going on.
Shout out to Corner Convo. 2:30. We'll be there.
I think and somebody else is going on before that. I don't know. Don't quote me on who.
Live podcast will be there. I know us and Corner Convo are there, so I know it's 2 dope podcasts going to be there. I don't know who the other one is, but shout out to them too. We'll be at the Woodline on Juneteenth, so come out there. And leave your, this Saturday, the 15th. Leave that open, man. We partnering with a big thing that's going on. One of the things is being finalized, so I don't want to say for sure exactly where it's going to be. But fuck it. Tentatively, it'll be at it'll be at DuSable Museum Saturday, all fucking day.
All day. I think it's noon to 10 or something like that.
No, it's like 3 to 11 or something like that.
Okay.
We will be out there. We're gonna be partnering with a lot of dope people. Shout out to Vic. Shout out to Lerny.
Love Jones Entertainment.
Love Jones Entertainment is putting that together. We partnering with them. It's gonna be a huge all day festival-like experience. Like 10, 12 DJs. Everybody from from V-Dub, Mustafa Rocks, but like also like like Farley is gonna be there. It's a whole lot of people, and then Rakim is closing out the show. So that is where we will be. We'll be on stage. We'll be emceeing it, hosting it, and we'll be doing the interviews in the back as well. Would love to see y'all out there. We will post a link on our social media so y'all can grab tickets to that. That's gonna be a super, super dope day. Again, that's this coming Saturday on the 15th, most likely at the DuSable Museum. And then Wednesday on Juneteenth, we'll be at the Woodline. So hopefully we'll see y'all out somewhere, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the show. As always, we greatly, greatly appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for y'all's input. It was valued and certainly appreciated. It's Candace's birthday this week, man. Wednesday.
Mac.
She is outside.
Mac.
She been outside too. Every time I see her story, she is outsiding.
You should make us a cake.
You should make us a cake for your birthday. No, you should not. I'm sure it got eggs and milk and all kind of shit in it.
I'm cheating. I don't give a fuck. Make the cake.
She do make the finest motherfucking pound cake. But she act like her oven don't work in the summer. It's too hot for me to be a baker. But yeah, man, happy birthday to Mac. We'll be back here later on this week for Relationship Friday show. And of course, all you official dirtbags will get y'all exclusive episode and content on Patreon. Y'all should strongly consider becoming an official Dirtbag. And please hit the website, check out some merch, grab some shit. Make sure y'all repping the set. Y'all gonna be out the next couple weeks.
Official Herb and 2 Juneteenth.
We do got the Juneteenth tee up on the website, man. If y'all gonna be out for Juneteenth, rep the set, man. So go to the website. It is herb2.com. Go to the website, cop the Juneteenth t-shirt, rep the set while y'all are out celebrating Black liberation and freedom. We appreciate y'all, man. We love y'all. Shout out to P, shout out to Ron, shout out to E4O, who is traveling right now.
Yeah, we're traveling.
All grace and traveling mercies to E and her fam. Love you, sis. We'll see you when you get bike. That's 2. I'm Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.